The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you, and we have a good show for you today. We talked a little bit with the South Range softball team yesterday. We featured a player profile. Today we're hopping into the Canfield side of things. We will have one Canfield player profile featured today, and then another live here on the show. You don't want to miss it. We have Jenna Treveri. We'll play that interview for you very, very soon, right after the intro. And then at 1:30, we have a live interview with Marina Koenig, the Canfield shortstop. So a very exciting day today as we just get more and more ready for the state tournament for the softball teams on Thursday, Friday, and then hopefully a couple of games on Saturday as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right into the first interview. We'll come back. We also have some Class B baseball we're going to update you guys on. We're going to hop on the Class B website, take a look at the early standings in 14 and 16U, and see what everyone is doing in that. It's very early in the season, but never too early to look at the Class B scores and standings. So first, we're going to get Jenna Treveri. We're going to make sure her player profile is going to be able to fit into today's show. So we're going to play this interview for you. Here is Canfield Jenna Treveri, and what a great interview it was. Hope you enjoy it. Anthony Hartwig with you, Canfield softball player profile. We are joined by Jenna Treveri. Jenna, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so this softball season has been a wild ride for you, and after last year going all the way to the state championship game, falling a little bit short of the ultimate goal, as a returner of this team and as someone that was a big part of last year's lineup, what was it like getting ready for this year and trying to get right back to where you got last year?
Well, there was kind of a lot of pressure on all the ones that came back from last year. All of us had the same goal to be back there this year. So we all just want to do our part and get back to where we were last year.
I want to know what kind of lessons you learned from last year. I mean, it's a heck of a way to spend one of the first years on the team is to go all the way to state. So what kind of lessons did you learn? What did you take into this year from last year?
Honestly, just don't take things for granted, because that doesn't really happen to a lot of teams, and we're just lucky enough to be the ones to experience it.
This year, throughout all your sports, you've dealt with a couple of injuries here and there. You've really had to grind through this sports season. What's that been like for you? What's it been like to go through all that and then to come out for softball and be able to have the success you've had on the diamond?
It's been really tough struggling with that my ankle injury from basketball season. But it also taught me that I can't take every season for granted. And it's really been amazing that I'm able to come back and play softball, that my injury wasn't as bad as we all thought it was going to be.
Was it hard to kind of get yourself back to where you trusted yourself, you trusted your ankle to be as quick as you are? Because we know how much you rely on your speed.
Yeah, it's been very difficult. I mean, I'm still going to therapy because of it. but I just started trusting my ankle like a couple weeks ago, like running the bases and stuff. Like I'm still not able to like slide on my ankle. I have to like dive head first now.
All right, so when we talk about the softball team, there are plenty of returners from last year, but there are also some new faces that are either freshmen or players that are stepping into much bigger roles this year. As someone that had to deal with that last season, what kind of advice are you giving to the players that are stepping into the varsity role and having their first year as a big member of this team?
Just take it all in. Like I said, don't take anything for granted. We've had a lot of younger classmen like step up into big roles. We have Sammy Economist playing third base. She's a great third baseman, and she's honestly been doing very well at handling everything.
You're back in regionals. Talk about the district championship. That's step one to get back to where you were last year. What going through districts was like and what the celebration was like when you guys got that district championship.
I mean, it's always exciting to win a district championship because, again, not a lot of teams are able to do that. So all of our emotions were really high, but we have to stay focused in order to get back to where we were last year.
Knowing that you guys got so far last year, I mean, how much did you celebrate the district championship? Was it a quick celebration and, hey, let's lock back in because we know we have a lot more to do? Or because there's a long break, was it a really like nice couple day celebration of a district championship?
It was kind of like, sure. I mean, we have to stay focused. So we took it all in that night when we won, and then we have to go back to practice thinking, okay, now it's time to win a regional championship.
What's it going to take to win this regional? We look at the teams in it. It's going to be really tough. You have the one seed in the district sitting right there in Aurora that you're playing first on Wednesday. What do you think it's going to take to go down there and get another regional championship?
Well, Aurora's a very great team. So, like, all of our best efforts are really going to help us win that game. We have to be able to hit their pitcher and obviously just have a clean defense to back up Milena.
Yeah, let's talk about backing up Milena, who just got her milestones, 800th strikeout, 60th win in the circle. You've been a part of being behind her for 2 years now. What's it like to play defense behind a pitcher that is kind of once in a generation for a program, and to be able to watch her do her work and watch all the attention that she gets from people and be a part of all the hoopla that is being on the same team with Milena Toth?
It's really amazing. I mean, she's a great, like, humble person. She's awesome to be around. But from a softball standpoint, like, it's really easy to be playing our positions because she does all the work. I mean, she's great. It's really, like, amazing to have her around.
We had this with a couple of teams that have pitchers this year that are just striking out, ridiculous amount of people. Is it ever hard to stay engaged when she gets in her groove where she's striking out 10, 11 in a row and you're sitting there like, okay, I'm not getting the ball anytime soon?
Yeah, honestly, like, being in the outfield especially, like, kind of zone out a little bit. But, I mean, it's great. You always have to have her back, though. I mean, she's working hard and we're all working hard, so we all just have to back each other up.
We talked about it earlier about you being a multiple sport athlete, playing in all seasons. Do you have a favorite? Do you have one that you spend a little bit more time on and a little bit more mental focus on when it's that season?
Well, I'm mainly between basketball and softball. Like, I kind of do a lot more during, like, each season. Like, I'll shoot more during basketball season. I'll hit more during softball season. And in the summer, I'm kind of just going to be doing both of those.
When you think of how you balance it all, you're having to do your schoolwork, you have all the commitments you have with the sports, plus you're just still trying to be a kid. How do you do it? How do you juggle everything?
It's pretty stressful, actually, just because of, like, the school standpoint. But, you just have to have fun. You can't, like, worry too much about the little things.
School can definitely be stressful. So I want you to tell me what class stresses you out the most, and then the flip side, what class do you think is the easiest for you in the sense of it doesn't give you a whole lot of stress?
Math definitely gives me the most amount of stress. I'm not very good at math, but English is probably my best subject. I have, like, a really good time, like, writing stories and everything like that. So
when you think English, there are a lot of different kinds of assignments that come with English class. Are you a creative writer? Do you like the research papers? Do you like the book reports? What kind of English are you into?
I like the creative writing part. I'm taking a class of that next year, so yeah, that's really what I like.
When you think of things that you like to do outside of all this, stuff with school and sports and all the things that you're committed to, what is your release? What are some things that you do when you have to get your mind off of these sports or off of school, where it's just something that you don't have to, have so much, hard work and commitment for? It's just a release or a hobby.
I honestly like just sleep and stuff. I mean, I hang out with my friends, but I like to like lay in my bed a lot when I'm like having a rough day or something. I just go lay in my bed.
Nothing wrong with a nap every now and then. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Um, One of the things that you guys have an advantage of now that technology has gotten so much is you get to watch film of yourself. You have Game Changer. You can watch film of other teams and all that fun stuff. How much do you utilize the technology that's given you? How much do you try to coach yourself, watch your own swings and things like that to break down what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it's really helpful. I also have a dad that really helps me with my swing and stuff, so he kind of like makes everything easier on me. He does like all the hard part of figuring out what's wrong, and then he just applies and tells me how to fix it.
Yeah, the relationship between a softball player and their dad, it's a tale as old as time. What's that like for you, having someone that is ingrained in the sport and knows, like you said, knows how to break down your swing, can watch your video, help you with that? What's the dynamic like between you two?
I mean, it's awesome. We have a great relationship, me and my dad. He's really helpful. He's a great supporter, and he always wants to see all three of his kids do really well in everything.
Now your dad's like the coach, right? So how much does your mom help balance that out by being just like the cheerleader, the one that is always supportive no matter how you play and things like that?
Yeah, my mom is very well at calming us all down after a bad game. She's really great. She helps us a lot too, even though she doesn't think that she does. She really makes like calms our mind and makes everything easier on us.
This Treveri name runs deep in athletics in the area. They're everywhere. Your family is so competitive. What do you guys get the most competitive at with each other? What kind of things do you compete with each other in?
Well, I mean, we all like compete in different things. I mean, especially me and my brother because we both play, like he played baseball and I play softball. So it's more of like the swing standpoint, who has a better swing and stuff. And like during basketball, when I played against my sister, we'd always have like competitions seeing like who's a better defender, who's a better shooter. But it also made all of us better.
Yeah, you had the chance to play against your sister. Most people we talk to play with them on the same team, and we talk about what it's like to be on the same team with them. What was it like for you playing against sister and being able to go up against her in high school?
It was really weird. I mean, like seeing somebody that looks kind of exactly like me on the other team. It wasn't a really great. I mean, it was a great experience. I had a great time with it, but it would have been nice if we were on the same team.
Yeah, you get to come home with each other and talk about, hey, we did this night, we did this night. How much were you still able to support each other on the nights that you weren't playing each other, of course, and say, hey, like you did this really well or you did this really well? What was that dynamic like, playing on separate teams but still supporting one another?
Yeah, me and my sister towards each other were very supportive, especially like when I was a freshman and when she was a senior. Like it was really nice having her to look up to because she especially always wanted me to do well, and she was really excited because she knows how passionate I am about it. But watching her grow up into a player was really like nice to see because it shows me like how I want to be in everything, and I've learned everything towards her.
It's always fun to talk about the competitiveness and the fun with your family, but every family also has something that makes them unique and makes them special to the people in it. What's that for you? What do you think makes your family kind of special, unique to yourself, and you would never take for granted about your family specifically?
Um, Definitely how close we all are. Like both of my siblings stayed home for college, so it's really nice being able to spend a lot of time with them and they're able to support me during my sporting events. But I'd say that we're all super supportive during each other and we all want to see each other succeed.
What's the best family vacation spot that you have? We've talked about trying to get away from things and releases in life. Vacations are a part of that. So, what's the best family vacation spot that you guys have?
We go to Florida usually like during the summer because during like spring break we're in Myrtle Beach for softball. So I'd say in Florida.
Is there a vacation spot that you guys haven't been yet that you have on your bucket list that you want to go on vacation with your family in?
Well, I want to go to Bora Bora, but it's too far away. I don't know. My family, we don't really like travel as much as we'd like because of all the sports and stuff. So
I don't want to step on the parents' toes, but it sounds like a really good graduation gift in a couple of years to,
yeah.
hey, you did your hard work, you got through high school, let's go to Bora Bora. When you think of things that you spend more money on than you should, we talk about impulse buys a lot with our player profiles. What are some of your impulse buys?
I don't really know. I don't like usually do that stuff a lot, but I spend a lot of money on just like random like food things.
So would you describe yourself kind of good with money or good at saving? You don't really, buy things that are frivolous and you don't do a lot of impulse buying?
No, I really don't. I mean, like the only thing that I'll like buy is like Starbucks or like fast food. I don't really go like out and buy like a bunch of clothes or anything.
What's your favorite fast food place to get food with?
Taco Bell,
Go to order is?
a steak grilled cheese burrito.
Nice. Not before a game, I hope.
No.
No. What's your favorite way to celebrate a big win?
Well, on our like bus ride home, we have a speaker and we all like listen to music, and that's really like nice to be a part of that because it's team bonding. And after the district championship, we all went out to dinner. So I mean, just like little things like that.
Is there a teammate that's in charge of the playlist on the bus, or do you all get a say in what songs get played?
Well, Sydney Lutz is our music girl. She has all of our walk-up songs in her phone. She has all the music. But we all kind of have a say in what music we want, but she's the one that's playing it.
What's your walk-up song and what's it say about you?
My walk-up song is classic, and I honestly just like it because of the beat of the first couple like sounds.
You're
It
classic,
doesn't
right?
really find me.
You're a classic. When you think of things that you love so much about this sport, you put so much time into softball. We know that you have to love it to put so much time into it. So what do you love so much about being a softball player?
Just like how it's a team sport, it takes all of us to win. And I just love it because like I love running the bases, I love playing the outfield, and I love spending time with like my family who helps me out.
All right, Jenna, what do we do at the end of these player profiles? Every single one of them, we like to give the athlete the time to take the spotlight off themselves a little bit and shine on the people in their life that support them. So I want to give you as much time as you want to give out your shout outs and thank the people, I should say, that support you all the time.
Definitely my family because they really have helped me through every single sport, every single injury. I want to give a big thing to my basketball coach, Coach Real. He really helped me during my ankle injury, and also all my teammates that made everything happen. Definitely Coach Kernan because he's taught me many lessons, and it's really helped me grow as a player. And I would just like to thank all my teammates.
All right, Jenna, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck on Wednesday in the regional semifinals and hopefully beyond. And we can't wait to talk again real soon.
Thank you.
That was Jenna Treveri, the center fielder from Canfield, the sophomore that has done incredible things already in her Canfield career, whether you're talking the volleyball team, the basketball team, or the softball team, obviously. Always. I did a good job. I didn't say no yesterday. We're keeping the tally. We're almost at 30. But, we're talking about her softball career right now. And, it's incredible that she's able to get healthy for softball season with a couple of injuries that she had to sustain and battle through throughout this year, volleyball and basketball, both sustaining a little bit of injuries. So the fact that she navigated all that, worked her way to a very healthy, very prosperous softball season one. We just love to see it at a personal standpoint because we know that going through injury is tough. It's tough not just physically, it's mentally grinding for a young person that is dealing with everything that you have to deal with when you're going through high school anyway. to also have to physically and mentally come back from an injury. Not easy. But she's able to navigate all that, get healthy, get to a very successful softball season, and now she's in state with the rest of the Cardinals. We are going to really quickly jump into the Class B website for the first time this season. They've been going on for a little bit. 14U for about I think a week or so. 16U just started last week, but last night we got 2 games in. Excuse me. 2 games got in 16U last night. 3 were postponed. We had the 3B Barons, who are a new team in Class B baseball. Very excited to see where they go. They won 16-6 over Eagleware, and the Prospects were able to win 11-3 over Ballistics. Both a lot of big offensive numbers in both games. If we click on this final right here, we can go to the box score of these games, and we can see that a big 8th inning, a big 8-run first inning for the Barons really set the tone. There was no going back after that. They scored 5 more in the second, 3 more in the third. That was enough for them to go on and win 16-6 run rule fashion. Some new names to get acquainted with for the 3B Barons. Trayton Ross went 2 for 4 with an RBI. You have Christian Antarok went 2 for 2, 2-run scored, a perfect day at the plate. He had an RBI as well. 2 RBIs apiece from Dom Malone and Ryan Ribholtz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dom went 2 for 2 with a walk. He was perfect on the day. And then so was Ryan. He went 1 for 1 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored. So they both were never retired. 2 RBIs from Tristan Blum and 2 RBIs from Jack Kyler. I'm going to assume that's Kyler, Keilar. But a big day for the Barons in a 16-6 win. Had some offense from Eagleware as well, with RBIs from 6 different people in their 6 runs scored. So no one had a huge day, but a very dynamic offense. Dominic Cousteron was 1 for 2 with an RBI. 2 for 3 day for Phoenix Marvin. He had 2 runs scored. RBI from Sean Zura. RBI as well from Alex Rogers. And an RBI from William Sanders for Eagleware. So they had some offensive spurts here and there, but Barons way too much offense for Eagleware to withstand 16-6. They got the win there. We're going to be doing this a lot more in the summer, going over every game. This is just kind of a preview of what our Class B coverage will look like during Running Point over the summer. We'll also have Little League, of course, go on during the summer months as well. Very exciting to know that Boardman will be the host of the not just districts for softball, but also the state tournament. So the teams that win in the districts that we always cover at the Field of Dreams will stay at the Field of Dreams for softball for state. Let's go into the standings of 16U. Just getting started, just 2 games in for the Astro. 2 games in, 2-0. Creekside's 2-0 as well. You have a couple of more games in from Athletics, who are 2-1. Prospects 2-1. Avalanche 2-1. Nightline 2-1. Barons 2-2. Ballistic 1-3. Eagleware 0-3, and the A to Z Athletics 0-3 as well. So I know it's early, but the Astro Falcons are always the favorites in these seasons to start, and so far they're undefeated. They look to be having a great year again. They're very talented. Let's go into 14U and see what they're looking like. They have a few more games in than 16U. Just the 6 teams, but here's what the standings look like. Astro, they're dominating, 6-0. They have the 1.5 lead over the Creekside team, 3-1, 4-2 for Ballistic. Prospects are 2-3, Avalanche 1-3, and then the 3B Barons 14U team 0-6 on the year so far. They have 2 games today for 14U. The Falcons taking on Creekside, Avalanche taking on the Prospects. Those will be split between Springfield and Scene 2. Let's go look at the 16U schedule. Forgot to bring that one up real quick because they have some games tonight as well. They'll have 5 games tonight at Ysn Park. Creekside taking on the A to Z Athletics on Scene 3. 5 o'clock start time. Scene 2, 5 o'clock. You'll have Ballistic at Eagleware. Prospects and Astro Falcons are playing on Scene 1 at 8. Also at 8 o'clock, you have Athletics against Avalanche. And then the 3B Barons will take on Nightline on Scene 3 at 8 o'clock. So going late into the night for Bob Ysn Park in Class B baseball. The reason there's not a 5 o'clock game there for Scene 1 is because we just were made aware of that South Range and Ursuline baseball playing a little bit of a tournament tune-up tonight at 5 o'clock at Ysn Park. 18U just getting started this week too. They have games on Wednesday. Their next 5 games will be on Wednesday. You have Avalanche against Ballistic, Creekside against Eagleware, Dura Edge against the Astro Falcons. The Barons will take on Nightline, and the Prospects will take on the Athletics. That'll be on Wednesday. Their season started on Saturday, so they're just 3 days into the long summer months. But that's just a little bit of a taste of what Class B baseball is going to be and how we're going to be covering it this year. Now, we do have a very special guest. We said 1:30. We are going to be joined by Marina Koenig from Canfield. We're going to pop her on here. Marina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. This is the second year in a row we've been able to have a player profile with you for softball, and what a great reason to celebrate having another run to state. First question for you is, what's it like going through another year, going back-to-back to a regional championship, back-to-back to state semifinals?
Yeah, it's really surreal, honestly. Like, you would never even realize the group of girls we have is capable of going twice. I mean, it's just awesome because some people don't even go at all, and it's like even going to regionals. So it's really a lot of fun.
All year this has been a goal for this team, but you've had to keep it one game at a time. But now that you finally reached this goal that you knew was obtainable all year, what's that like for this team that has been just going one game at a time all season?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of like, wow, we're already here. Like, all of us, we've been talking. We're like, it's crazy that our season is ending like this week. We've been talking about how like Thursday's our last practice, and like Friday maybe or in Saturday like be our last game. So it's like, I mean, it's awesome that we've made it this far, but we're all really sad that the season's coming to an end.
Yeah, you said it. Like, no matter what, even if it's a happy ending, which we hope it is, this is going to be the last week of softball for this team. What's it like to just try to treasure this last week, treasure the practices first and foremost? You know, you have one more on Thursday, and then treasure the game and all the hoopla that comes with being at state. What are you guys doing to try to just take in every moment?
I mean, during practice, we always try to have fun. But I mean, we get in there, we get our work done, but we're bonding, we keep the team bonding up and everything. But, you know, we just try to get there, have fun, but we know that we're going to leave no regrets when we get on the field.
Last season, you got to this stage, you won in the semifinals on a walk-off, and then you fell in the state championship. I'm wondering, from your perspective, for you personally, what kind of lessons were learned from last year's state tournament that you're taking into the preparation and the getting ready for this year's?
I mean, this year, it's just don't let the moment kind of overtake. I mean, I think last year we were all kind of nervous going into the state championship game, and our endurance might have been a little bit low because it was so hot when we went there. But this year we know what we're expecting. We know it's going to be a good game. We know it's going to be hot. We know the amount of people that are going to be there. So I think it gives us a little bit of, I mean, we're prepared for it a little bit more this year.
You're playing right in the middle of that infield. You get to play right behind Milena Toth. Got to ask, from your perspective as well, being able to play it behind defense, behind someone that has been so astronomically good throughout her Canfield career and has put Canfield softball on the map. Everyone wants to pay attention to Canfield softball because of the numbers and the success that she's having. What's it like for you to be playing defense behind her and having her back and and watching her work from your point of view?
I mean, you at this point, you just want to win everything for her because of all the dedication, all the work that she's given to us to be able to set us up into this position. So, I mean, you got to stay focused and everything. Even when she's striking out batters left and right, you have to stay focused. And I mean, we all have the same common goal. So you got to be ready every time the ball comes to you.
When you're talking offense, you've seen a lot of success at the plate this year. Talk about what kind of went into that and what adjustments you made this year and why you found so much success.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, I definitely hit a good streak there. But I mean, I was antsy getting back because of basketball, and I mean, every time you get up to the plate, you just want to do what's best for the team and kind of set the team up for success for that game. And so, I mean, the kind of adjustments you have to make is the different speeds of pitchers, and once the scouting report gets out, like you don't see certain pitches anymore, and just kind of adjusting to that has been like my biggest thing.
You brought some pop in the bat this year. You have, a handful of extra base hits. You've brought in some power. What's that been like for you to see, not just singles and base hits, but also see yourself be able to hit the ball hard and hit the ball far and sometimes over the fence?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great, obviously, doing all that for the team and everything. Maybe just get a rally going. But it really pays off to see your hard work through the winter and everything finally start to pay off a little bit.
When you think about your work through the winter, what were some things that you kind of pointed out to yourself? I know you were also in basketball season, but things that you thought during the off season, like I have to work at this or adjust this or get better at this. What were some things or personal goals that you had in preparing for this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like the outside pitch, getting out there, the off speed, being able to stay back a little bit. And mostly just mentally staying in it, even if you hit a little bit of a rough patch. Like I'm kind of in a rough patch right now a little bit, but um, I mean, it's really just mental stuff and just being able to bounce back and do whatever you can for the team, whether it's get a bunt down or drive in 3 runs.
Going to state comes with a lot of hoopla. You knew that last year. You had a lot of media attention. People were interviewing the team. You had send offs. You had, even people that weren't a part of the media, just people that wanted to kind of get invested in this sport, in this team, ask you questions about what was so successful and things like that. All the attention that comes with getting to state. How do you kind of handle it? Are you someone that shies away from the attention, or do you kind of go into it and say, man, like we've worked so hard, we earned this, and we're gonna use this to get our name out there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, we have worked so hard for all of this. I mean, I'm definitely one of those people that's like, we deserve to be here. All of the work that we've put in from when we were, what, 13 years old to now. And I mean, it's amazing that all of us have put in all that work to become like one of the best teams in Ohio, one of the best players in Ohio. Like, it's really fun to see all of that. And I mean, Milena deserves all the attention that she gets. I mean, she's outstanding and she's amazing. She brings our team together. So yeah, all the media attention that she has gotten, that we've gotten, I think it's well deserved.
Something that goes under the radar with this team this year is you have a couple of new faces that are coming in and having much bigger roles on the varsity level. From your perspective as a leader of this team, as someone that people look to lead as an upperclassman, what kind of things have you seen from the players that are stepping into bigger roles and stepping right into big shoes that the seniors from last year left? What have you seen from them?
I mean, I'm really proud of all of them for stepping into bigger roles. I mean, Sammy and Sid both on my left and right sides. I mean, they both stepped into huge roles this year, especially Sammy. I mean, Sid played second base all last year. She did an amazing job. She always does. But Sammy stepped right into third base, and she has held her ground like no other. It's been really amazing to see her do all of that because I've played with her all my life. So being able to see some people step into bigger roles, it's been really fun to watch them and be able to be the person they can ask questions and look up to, kind of.
I'm sure Sammy's not the only teammate that you've been playing with for a while. What's it like to share this moment with players that you literally grew up with and players that you've been playing with for so long?
It's amazing. I love being able to share these experiences with them because, like, I mean, we've been playing with them since we were like 11 or 12. So it's crazy to be able to, I mean, grow up. We're like 16, 17 now. So it's awesome. You know exactly what you get when you play with all of them too.
What are some of your earliest memories of softball with this group? Now that we're talking about the pinnacle of the dream, getting to back states and getting to what you guys dreamed of when you were kids. Let's talk about some of the earlier memories. What are some of the first memories you have of playing softball with this group?
With this group, definitely, it was like our regionals my freshman year and districts, going through all of that. When we played at YSU, that was so much fun. I didn't even know what was happening because I was a freshman and I was like, I didn't really know a lot about the tournament, so it was fun to be able to like ride along with that. And like there were so many upperclassmen there that I'm close with and have stayed close with. So I mean, just stuff like that, and last year all our celebrations, the dog piles after games. I mean, it was so much fun even looking back.
When you reflect on freshman Marina Koenig, what ways do you think you've grown the most since freshman year to now?
Definitely mental game. My mental game was awful when I was like growing up when I was a freshman. I mean, the game's not perfect. You're not perfect. So it's definitely stuff like that. I mean, I have my moments. Everyone has their moments, but you know, it's just stuff like that. You got to stay level headed. Sometimes they fall, sometimes it doesn't.
Softball is a sport where even if you're really, really good, you're going to fail more than you succeed when you're at the plate. So it's a game where you have to be mentally tough. How do you handle the mental approach and the valleys that softball can put you in?
I mean, for me, honestly, it's just like if your hits aren't if they're not falling, you got to go play defense and do everything you can to, um, stop all the balls that come to you and make every play from Elena and your pitcher and your team, so that someone else can pick you up behind the plate or hitting wise. So I know my team's got my back, and whoever's not on that day, I know someone else that is going to be.
It really seems like this coaching staff was the difference maker in taking this team to that next level and being able to get them into state for 2 years in a row. Talk about Coach Kernan and his staff and what they've meant to you as a player and how much they've impacted this team in their journey.
Yeah, honestly, it's just their belief in us. I mean, since the moment we stepped in there, he's like, "You guys have a ton of talent," and we're just like, "Ah, yeah, okay." And I mean, he just believes in us to no end, and he'll do anything to give us a good position to win in every game. And I think we all trust him to do the right thing to set us up for success. And I mean, we're all willing to do anything we can to win. So just yeah, his unlimited belief in us that we can win every game that we enter.
One of the things I've always liked about Coach Kernan, especially in last year's state tournament, he wasn't afraid to, excuse me, get involved with the antics that you guys have. Do the rally cap, put his visor on backwards, make himself look a little silly for you guys, making sure he knows that he's with it through you guys. What's that do for you having a coach that is willing to be in the moment with you and have fun with you guys?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it makes the game that much more fun when you can look down third base and you see your coach with his visor on upside down and backwards. It's really it gives you a good laugh even when you're in the box. It kind of helps you relax a little bit more and realize that yeah, it's just a game, but I mean, it just means that much to everyone in the dugout.
When you think about maybe the part of your game that he has helped you the most in growing in, what do you think of when you think of maybe the part of your game that he's the most responsible for?
hmm Yeah, I think definitely like fielding wise. I mean, I've played outfield, I've played shortstop, I've caught. I mean, he helps me with everything. When I step in a new position, there's always something that like I can do better and that I'm willing to learn from him. And he always has a piece of wisdom to pass down.
You have played a lot of positions. Do you feel at home at shortstop? Is that your favorite, or do you have another place where you feel a little bit more at home on the field?
Oh yeah, shortstop's my place. I've played shortstop since I was 8 or 10 years old.
When you think of why you fell in love with the sport of softball when you were young, what was the difference maker in making this sport something that you wanted to pour your time into and give a lot of effort into?
I mean, it's been a part of my family, like my dad, my grandpa, everyone. So, I mean, everyone's played it in my family, so it's just like being able to. I've grown up with it, so it's just like you play it and you fall in love with it, and it's just the game that I mean that's always been consistent in my life. So that's what I I just love the game of softball. It's just awesome.
All right, let's talk about Marino off the field a little bit. You're getting closer to graduation. You're not there yet. You still have some time, but the thoughts about your future have to start creeping in. What kind of things are you thinking about when you think of things you want to do after high school, career paths you might want to go into, or maybe even just a college that you might want to, apply for?
Yeah, I don't. If I were to go somewhere down south, I mean that's always been a dream of mine. But I mean, staying in Ohio, maybe somewhere PA, I think that'd be pretty ideal. I mean, if I could play softball in college, I think I'd be a dream come true.
Are you like actively in the recruiting process, or are you just kind of like, if that door opens, I'll take it?
I mean, I'm kind of in between both. I'm recruiting, sending emails and everything, but it's just like, yeah, if whatever the door opens, I'm gonna step right into that role wherever I can.
What are some things that pique your interest when you study, or things that you like to learn about, career paths that you might see yourself in?
Maybe like some kind of sports therapist or physical therapist. I think that would be pretty ideal for me. It's something that interests me for the longest time, so something like that. Yeah.
Have you had anything in your life that has made you interested in that, or pulled you towards that line of career?
Honestly, I just can't see myself not doing something sports related. So, I mean, I just surround myself with all of that since I was little. So I just can't ever see myself doing something different.
With all that, you have to be such a competitive person. What other ways outside of sports do you get competitive? Do you guys have like family game nights, or do you guys get competitive in the backyard with like backyard sports? What other ways do you get competitive outside of the high school sports that you obviously play?
Sometimes me and my friend go up and play pickleball. That gets pretty competitive sometimes. Pickleball does, and I mean, I play wiffle ball with my brother and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, we all have those games that we play when we were little, and I mean, even go up till now.
If Canfield had a pickleball team and it wasn't in the spring, do you think you'd go out for it? You
Oh,
think
a
you're good enough
hundred
to try
percent.
to try varsity sport?
Oh, 100%. I think half our team would be on that team.
Who's the best pickleball player on the team?
Alexis Johnson.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
All right. When we get her on the air, we're gonna have to ask about her pickleball skills.
Oh yeah, she'll go off about pickleball.
Let's talk about dugout snacks. You guys have a lot of them. You guys have a whole section of the dugout that's dedicated to any kind of snack you would want. What's your favorite? What's your go-to?
My go-to is probably either goldfish or airheads, and like maybe a Gatorade too. He got a new like green like sour apple. That one's really good.
Do you have a favorite flavor of Airhead too?
Either the blue or just the mystery. Honestly.
And then when you're talking goldfish, are we talking like the OG, or like the toasted, or I don't even, they have a bunch of flavors now.
Yeah, OG all the way.
OG goldfish, I like it. Let's talk about things off the field that are hobbies, things that you do outside of the sports. We know that you put so much time into the athletics, but you have to have things that give you a little bit of a break, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I enjoy baking with my mom and just like for fun. I like baking and maybe like going on walks and stuff and playing with my brother and hanging out with friends. Just normal stuff.
Now, be honest. Do you bake for yourself to eat it, or do you bake for other people?
Well, I definitely eat most of what I make.
Yes, I love it. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Cake pops. I love making cake pops.
Is that also your favorite dessert to eat?
One of them, yes.
What's your favorite way to celebrate a big win? You just had a huge win, maybe even the regional championship. What's your favorite way to go out and celebrate?
I think after the regional semis, I think we went and played pickleball. And then just going out to like TJ's or Coca's. I think that's what we all like to do. We like to just go hang out with each other, get something to eat, maybe go to Handles too, and then maybe play pickleball.
Now, all of you guys hang out with each other, and I'm sure that you've spent time at each other's houses. What teammate has the best hangout house? Because there's always that one teammate that maybe they have a pool, or maybe they have like a big backyard for whatever
Mhm.
reason, or maybe they have a really cool basement with a theater room. What player has the best hangout spot on the team?
Yeah, last year we went to Melena's house to go swim. I know Sid's got a fun house. She has a pool, so I mean, yeah, we've gone a ton of different places.
Now, what parent on the team, would feed you the best, do you think?
I think Leah's parents. Yeah, definitely Leah's parents. She's organized a lot of after school meals and stuff.
I love it. So one of the things we do at the end of these player profiles, you've been a part of them. We like to give the athlete the chance to take the spotlight off themselves a little bit, shine on their support system, the people that are there for them all throughout their career. I want you to be able to do that. Take as much time as you want to send out your thanks and your shout outs.
Yeah, mostly just my friends and family, for everyone coming to our games and coming supporting, and everyone who's believed in me and everything and followed our team for, the long 2 months that it's been. So, yeah.
All right, Marina, we want to thank you so much for joining us and talking about this journey, and wish you the best of luck in the state semifinals on Friday morning. We will be there rocking that red, and we can't wait we hope that your season ends with a big trophy.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Marina Koenig from Canfield joining us live on the show. We already featured Jenna Treveri. I'm in the Canfield red. It's Canfield Tuesday. What can you do? That was a great interview with Marina. We want to thank her for her time. We want to thank Jenna Treveri for her time as well. Canfield plays on Friday, 10 a.m. against Kenton Ridge. As I said before, there's going to be a new state champion no matter what. Talmadge has been knocked out. They were beaten in the regional semifinals against Buckeye, the team that Canfield beat in the finals. So no matter what, hopefully it's Canfield, of course, but no matter what, there will be a new state champion in Division I. We have 3 teams, YSN teams, going for state championships, 4 local teams for the first time ever, I think. 4 Valley teams all represented in 4 different divisions down there at Firestone Stadium. So Northeast Ohio is representing strong. If anyone tries to tell you that there's better softball in Ohio outside of Northeast, wrong. They are so wrong. They're here's the line of being right. They're so far away from the line they can't even see it, because there's just nothing better than Northeast Ohio softball. I'm thinking, like, when I'm looking at the recruits we're having and the players that I know will probably be coming up in freshman or sophomore years that are going to be going into not just college level, but we're talking they're getting looks from the big coaches, right? The I can go anywhere kind of type players. You kind of start to talk about rivaling some of the big hotbeds of softball. I'm not going to be crazy and say we're going to be better than Texas or California, because right now those places are where everyone goes. I think every Power 5 team probably has 2 or 3 players from Southern California or Texas on their team. They're just, because they're warm weather places. They're hotbeds for softball. Florida too. They're playing year round. They're specializing in the sport, so they're bringing up more talent. But when you talk about places above that Mason-Dixon line for softball, there aren't too many places, regions, I would say, that are more of a hotbed for talent right now than Northeast Ohio. You're seeing a lot of really big coaches, really big names venturing up recruiting in this area. We will see it a lot in state. The state of Ohio as a whole has a lot of softball talent, because we're going to see a lot of big Power 5 recruits playing against YSN and for YSN as well. So Northeast Ohio is big. The state of Ohio is just flaming with softball right now, and you got to love it. As a softball fan, you got to love it. We can't wait. We're going to have a state send-off show. I don't know if you've seen the graphics on social media, but tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we're going to have a big show, and all the teams will be featured. We'll have every coach interviewed. We'll have players from each team, and then to end it, we're going to have a roundtable discussion with the 3 aces, which I'm very excited about. With Melena Toth, Sydney Watts, and JD Wilt will all be talking about their journeys together. Hopefully we can get them to interact with each other a little bit. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a really fun time to have a send-off show for all 3 of the teams getting together in one show. We loved the separate live ones last year. That was a lot of fun, but it did feel separate. So having them all, having them all come together as a softball community, because at the end of the day, they're in different divisions. They're all rooting for each other. I know they're all rooting for Matthews too. They want Northeast Ohio represented. There's no, oh man, I don't want them to win just because they're a local rival or they're someone that we played in the past. Like, I guarantee Steve Ward is rocking the red on Friday morning and then putting on the Fitch Friday afternoon, and he'll probably put on maybe some burgundy for Thursday afternoon. Maybe we'll be able to talk to him about that. Maybe he can do it. But Coach Grenad's going to be rooting for Fitch. He already told me that. Like, man, I can't wait for Fitch to be there. He'll be rooting for South Range, Matthews. All these coaches know each other. They respect each other, and they want more than each other. They want the players to win. They want the area players to win. They want the kids from this area to do great things. And that's what these coaches get. It's all about the athletes, right? So we're going to have some fun tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We'll talk about it tomorrow as well on Running Point. That's going to do it for today's show. We're going to get out of here a little bit early. We'll be back tomorrow from 1 to 2, Running Wednesdays, episode 7. We will recap all the regional champions. We will preview state in Dayton. We have plenty of runners. We have a couple of special guests for you too. Not going to spoil it, but make sure to come back to Running Wednesdays tomorrow. 2 episodes left in the season this week, and then next week we'll have our season finale where we recap the state meet and hopefully talk to some state champions on the track side as well. So Running Wednesday tomorrow. Scotty will be here. Going to be a fun Wednesday on Running Point. Don't miss it. We'll be back then. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Running Point always brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town.